last time I spoke, the people, they were saying the same exact thing. Like, why have you brought us out here to let us die or to kill us? Now, this speaks to me because I'm in a wilderness state right now. I don't know what's going on. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, why? Why do these things keep happening? What am I supposed to do? Like, sometimes I'm like, where are you, God? Knowing that He right here all the time, all along. But I'm like, where are you? Where you been at? Like, I'm like these people. How you brought me out here to just leave me here? Like, because that's how I feel. I feel like you just leaving me here. Like you just set me out here and be like, here you go. There you go. I'll be right over here. When you mess up, I know you come back. I'll be right here. But the whole time they was just up in arms because they thought that the wilderness was a bad place. They kept calling this wilderness state evil. See, a lot of times we think that just because we out there in this wilderness state that it's evil, that it's the devil doing these things. But it ain't the devil, it's God. So they sit here thinking they was slaves. They was doing all kind of crazy stuff in Egypt. But they feel like it's better to be back there in bondage than it is to be out here free. Well, I tell you. I know we all get like that sometimes. Like, God, I was doing great back here. Back here, I had a job. I had a car. I had this. I had that. I was doing good back here. Why'd you bring me out of that just to bring me out here to leave me? Where nothing is around. No food, no water, no nothing. So I got a question for y'all. How many of us like to do whatever we want to do? Raise your hand. I need you to stand up. Right. There we go. That's my buddy over there. She can stand up for all of us now. But I got another question for y'all. How many of us like to do what God tells us to do? You see my hand ain't raised. Because I don't like to do what God tells me to do all the time. No. So, I'm going to get to why I asked that question. Where did I stop at? I stopped at where? 5? Let me go back. Why have you brought us assembly? And why have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us to this evil place? It is not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, nor there is any water to drink. So Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and fell to their faces, and the glory of God appeared to them. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod, you and your brother Aaron, gather the congregation together. Speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will yield its water. Thus you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their animals." So Moses took the rod from before the Lord, and as he commanded him, and Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels, Now, Moses was always angry at these people. Moses was always angry at these people. I don't blame him. I'm like, look, I'm trying to help y'all. I don't want to do this. I don't want to stand up here and preach, but God told me to help y'all. But y'all want to be ungrateful. Y'all don't want to be happy with what I brought y'all out from. Y'all want to stand here and be angry at me and my brother. We don't want to do this. I could go back to where I was. I was doing fine. But, you know, we all be ungrateful sometimes. All of us have been rebels. Must we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came out abundantly. Now, he said, speak to the rock, didn't he? But Moses was so mad and so frustrated that he hit it. Not once, but twice. Now, the water came out because God's word cannot come back void. Then Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came out abundantly, and the congregation and the animals drank. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, because you did not believe me to hallow me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore you shall not bring the assembly into the land which I have gave them. Amen. Now, if you don't know what hallow means to honor as holy. See, sometimes we forget that God is holy. Right. We forget that he is holy. Sometimes we want to, appeal to everybody. We get up here, we want to appeal to everybody, appeal to the young people, try to draw them in, but sometimes we forget that God is holy. That we forget that the traditions that he has set for us, that we forget all about that. Just trying to draw people in. When you draw them in, you got to let them know, hey, God is holy. This is holy ground that you stand on. So, he struck the rock twice. Being disobedient. Because he was frustrated. Because he was angry. Now, I know we get like that. We get mad, we get angry, we get frustrated. And we like, God, you know what? We don't want to do this. I know you said speak, but I'm mad. I want to hear something. I want to hear something. I want to hear somebody. I want to cuss out somebody right now. But God said, no, hold your tongue. He said, when you're angry, do not sin. So he struck it twice. Twice. Now, the first time when he hit it, it didn't come back in his mind. No, God said, speak. No, I'm like, when he hit it the first time, he didn't think, it didn't come back to his mind. But we forget that Aaron was by his side too. Aaron didn't stop him and say, no, hold on. God said, speak to that. I'm like, Aaron, where was Aaron? Where was our help? Where was his help? Oh, I know we get sidetracked. We fall out of God's will sometimes. We fall out of God's presence sometimes. And not only when I fall, sometimes I bring people with me. Sometimes I bring people with me when I fall. That's why you got to be cautious and you got to be careful of how you walk in front of people. Because the very people that you don't think look up to you, they look up to you. So he struck it twice. And God said, you cannot go into the promised land because you disobeyed me. Now we get upset when we trying to do something, and God said, "Nah, you can't do that. Nah, you can't have that wife. Nah, you can't have that husband. No, God, I'm gonna go do it. That's what I want. That's what I want." God said, "Nah, we're not gonna do that." But then after a while, God be like, "Okay, here you go. You can have it. Here, you can have it." Then we get mad over the consequences when we disobeyed him. He said don't do it, but you disobeyed him anyway. Now you're mad because you're sitting through years of abuse. Now you're angry all the time. But God said don't do it. You chose to do it anyway. Now, I like to motivate people. I don't know why. I don't really like to I don't like motivational speeches and stuff like that. Man, I don't like all that. I don't need all that. You can stand behind me and, cheer me on, but don't come to me, you can do it. I'm like, man, get out of my face, go away. But I like to motivate people, and God likes to motivate people too. So now that we know that Moses is not going into the promised land. Now that's the Old Testament, right? In the New Testament we got grace, right? So now yes, thank God for grace, because a lot of us wouldn't go to the promised land. I'll be one of them. A lot of us wouldn't go to the promised land. But the good thing about God is when you make a mistake, you can go back to him and say, "God, I'm sorry. Lord, forgive me for making that mistake. I know you told me to do this. I know you told me to go left, but I went this way. Lord, I'm sorry. Forgive me, Lord." See, when you mess up, you can go back to God. And you can take your Bible and like, "Look, God, this is what you said. This is what you said. You said, God, greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world, Lord." Did you not say that? Did you not say that? God, I remember in Psalms, Lord, in Psalms it says right here, Lord, I've been young and I've been old, Lord, and I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging the bread. Said, I never seen that. God, ain't I one of your righteous ones? Am I standing up here preaching your word? You can go back to God and say, "God, look at Hezekiah. Didn't you tell Hezekiah he was finna die? What did Hezekiah do? He turned right around and said, "God, ain't I your righteous one? Ain't I walking your walk? Am I doing this?" He told Isaiah, said, "Go back in there and tell him I got 15 more years for him." When you get tired, when you get upset, you get mad, you get angry, you feel down, you feel depressed, you go back to God and say, "Look, this is what you said. This is what you said. You said you'll give me what I want. You'll give me the desires of my heart, Lord. You said if I knock, you'll answer the door." Now, I told y'all before, I've been dealing with depression since 11 years old. That's as far back as I can remember. And probably around September of last year, I just fell down, just gave up. I ain't come to church for like 2-3 Sundays?
Oh yeah, we remember that.
2-3 Sundays I didn't come. I was just down. I just laid in my bed, just on the floor for 4 days straight. 4 days straight, I just laid there. And I was just asking, like, God, where are you? Where are you at? You told me when I need you, I can come to you. I'm like, where are you? So on the last day, the very last day, at night, I'll tell you, God don't like to let me sleep sometimes. At night, he came to me. And you would think, when he come to you, you think he would say, I got you, don't worry about it. You would think that he would say that. Be like, no, you my child. I carry you here. You would think he would say that. You know what he said? He said nothing. He just came to me and showed me preaching. He said, I called you to preach my word. I called you to stand up here to preach my word. And that's what you're going to do. He said, these people, he started showing me people in the audience. He said, that person needs you. This person needs you. And you going to stand here and give up on them? You going to stand up and give up on them? Because you mad, because you angry, because you can't get what you want? This life is not about you. It's about you. My life is about you. My life is about you. I stand up here because of you, not because of me. That's why I stand up here and preach his word. That's why when he say speak, I speak. We got to get done and we got to get to what he says do. He said preach, we got to preach. He said speak, we got to speak. It's time out for the foolishness. Do you want to get to the promised land? He said it's here, it's waiting for you. You got to get up and do it. I'm not going to do it for you. You got to make that first step. You got to make that first step. And I can stand up here and say that since that day, I have not dealt with depression. Not only did he come in to tell me what I had to do, he took my depression with him. See, we live in the gonna be. He said we live in the it's gonna happen. God live in it already happened. When God speaks, it already happened. You are the only one that can stop it. When he say you're going to be healed, you're going to be healed. But you can stop that. You can stop him from healing you. When he say you're going to stand up here and preach, you're already preaching. You're the only one that's going to stop that. When you're mad and you're angry, you still speak to the rock. You still do what he tell you to do. You don't strike it. You do what God tell you to do. Like I said, I haven't dealt with that. I'm still trying to figure out, have I been delivered from that? It still bothers me. It still wonders. Like, I don't feel depressed. Going back to Hezekiah, as Isaiah said, when will I know the sign that he has healed me? What Isaiah said to him? Like, this is the sign. What else more do you want? You want me to turn back time now? Now I know what Brother Darius go through when he got delivered from that spirit. He don't like it. He don't want nothing to do with it. He want to shy away. I feel the same way. I feel him. I was listening to somebody and they was talking about their depression. I cut it off and I ain't never listened to them again. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. It don't sit right with me. But see, what I learned from Pastor, he said once you get delivered, you can see that spirit on other people and you can deliver them. I was nervous because I didn't know what I was going to speak on. Because I didn't know what I was going to speak on. Like I said, every Saturday night before I got preached, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, he's speaking to me. I'm like, why you got to wait till the last minute? I'm all week, I'm sitting there, I'm praying, I'm trying to usher in on your spirit. You ain't saying nothing. Well, now at 3 o'clock in the morning, you want to speak to me. But you know what I do? I said, thank God that I still know your voice. Well, I'm going to open the doors of the church. And I want to tell y'all, I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know we all going through things. I know we all feel like we're a failure. I know we all feel like we don't deserve things. I'm one of them. I feel like I don't deserve nothing. I deal with telling myself that I'm a horrible father to my child.
Speak it. Say it. Get it out.
I feel like I don't deserve my daughter. She deserves a better person than me. That's what I deal with every day. And I know some of y'all deal with the same thing. But you got to keep going. You got to get up. When you don't feel like going to church, you got to get up and go.
That's right.
Because this is where you're going to get healed at. When you're sad, when you're lonely, when you're hurting. We see that. And you know what we can do? We can say, hey, brother, come here. I feel you sad. I feel you hurting. Let me hold you up. Let me carry you. Because you're not in this by yourself. You're not in it by yourself. You got God with you. You got your brother next to you standing here, holding you up, telling you everything is going to be all right. Telling you that I've been through that. I know what it's like. Come here and let me hold you. Let me give you a hug and tell you that I love you and that it's going to be all right. We got to do what God say. Or he going to move you out of the way and bring up another one. Because once he move you out the way, he going to leave you there. He told Moses, you ain't going into my promised land because you disobeyed me. And I know being obedient is hard sometimes. Because I like to do what I want to do too. But when God says we got to do, we got to do. There's a lot of stuff that I deal with. And this is the only place, standing up here preaching this word, it's the only place I feel free. Where I don't feel bogged down by the things of this world. We're going to constantly deal with things in life. We're going to constantly be attacked. The devil is constantly going to be after us. But right up here, you can come right up here and confess to the Lord. You can come sit right here in these seats and confess to the Lord everything that you're going through. Your problems, your illness, your anger issues, your depression, anything. Nothing is too big for God. All you got to do is come up here and accept Him in your life. If you want to be healed, all you got to do is come up here and accept it. If you want your brother to hold you up and pray for you, all you got to do is come up here and accept it.